Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and I've got some tips, tricks, and pointers for faculty, and it aligns a little bit with students as well, with regards to feedback. We had talked a couple months back about the book Thanks for the Feedback, which was really eye-opening to me. It kind of helped me with my feedback receiving in my personal life more so than my professional life, but it was a good book nonetheless. I really enjoyed it, got a lot from it, but there's a couple of reasons why students struggle to give feedback, and what faculty can do, as well as what students can do to give good feedback to faculty. One of the first barriers or issues that you can find is students feel like you may not be open to feedback, right? If you are somewhat cold or closed off or you're an introvert, and you don't seem approachable, you may not give off the vibe that you want feedback. But I always make it known to my students that, hey, look, I'm trying to make this better. I'm trying to make the journey better for all of us. So, in order to do that, I have to get feedback from you early and often so we can make improvements as we go in the course. The next step is recognizing they may feel like they're doing it wrong, meaning that, they just feel like, I don't know how to even give a professor feedback. Like, how do I have a conversation with them to let them know what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong? And I think, the key is to not only create that safe space to where they feel like they can give feedback, but let them know that feedback is a skill that's best learned through doing. So you have to try, you have to just have conversations. And even if it fails and goes miserably wrong, you can still learn from that and make it better the next time you try to do it. The next thing to be aware of as a professor is, you have that power struggle a little bit, right? Where students may feel like if they give you feedback, especially negative feedback, there's going to be retaliation, right? Like a whistleblower situation. Like, well, you're taking it out on me, and that's not right. And I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for years, and I'm a good professor. You just need to, suck it up and learn more, right? Like learn better. It doesn't always work that way, I mean, sometimes we have to be able to take criticisms, especially if they're good ones and they're going to help us get better. We need to put our ego aside sometimes and just, recognize feedback as something of a blessing, right? It's a gift to get feedback. So I try to demonstrate empathy and humility when they're giving feedback and just say things like, I know that it can feel uncomfortable to give feedback to someone who, has the power to give you a grade, but I've had the same concerns when giving feedback to my bosses, and so I've done it over the years and it's been a great learning experience for all of us. So just again, making them feel safe and letting them know that you value their feedback and expect it. They could be concerned about hurting your feelings, right? I've never had that issue. I'm from New York. I always say, hey, look, you're never going to hurt my feelings. Like, I've got a pretty rough exterior. I'm an open book. I know I'm far from perfect, but I'm always a work in progress and I'm trying to improve. So I take all feedback as a chance and an opportunity for growth. And just kind of ask students like, hey, in the past, students have told me my pacing's a little bit quick or I talk too fast. And again, chalk that up to being from New York, but I like to tell them, do you feel like that's the case? Or what are some things you might be noticing in how I'm doing? So open the conversation with, here's some things that have been said to me before, and I've been cognizant of them and I'm trying to work on them, but what do I still need to keep working on? Or do I keep need to working on those things, And then last but not least, they suspect that nothing will change, right? Even if they give feedback, you're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to change. So you have to, take the feedback, but don't let it fall on deaf ears. You have to take action. You have to try to actively change and show that change. And for the students, again, take a lot of the fears and the elements that we just went over and recognize that professors need feedback, right? And you can simply ask them, hey, if we have feedback to give you, what are the best ways to do that, right? Would you like us to tell us you all in front of the class? Would you like us to email you? Would you like us to set up an appointment in office hours? how would you like to receive feedback? Because if feedback is a two-way street. It's always a two-way relationship. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to give feedback. It's really pretty helpful and appreciated most of the time. So please do so. And again, let's have good conversations and open those two-way streets so that we can both work on getting better at teaching and better at learning. Hope that was helpful, and we'll see you on the next one.